Hello everyone and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me and I will make sure that my iPad and Facebook is with me. Here we go. Make sure volume's okay. It's on the wrong side, of course. Facebook, yeah, looks okay. Cool. All right, so the volume looks fine. Colour looks okay, yeah. I can live with that. Now, we've been having some difficulty with lag on this new camera setup that I have, new wireless camera. So I think I've sorted part of the problem, but if it continues to lag, please pop on in the chat and let me know. And I have my other webcam on the side ready to go should I need it. So if any lag, please let me know. You're helping me out if you can help me iron out some of the little foibles with this particular new camera setup that I'm trying to get sorted. If we can't sort the lag, I'm going to have to go back to my youngest son, who's my IT guy, and ask him to suggest some more fix-ups. But anyway, let's see how we go. We'll start with hopefully with the way we mean to continue and stick with the new camera for now, because I think the colour and the clarity and the responsiveness is so much better than the webcam. So my next step might be buying an incredibly expensive webcam, and I'd like to avoid that if I possibly can. So as I say, it all gets laggy, jumpy, like it stops and then starts and stops and starts. Please let me know and we can swap over to the webcam for today. Okay, right, we're going to be making, and I designed this card a few days ago, so it took me a few minutes to remember what we're actually going to make today. This little card here, I picked it up, the original from Emma Goddard over in, I can't remember what, she's a coastal stamper, I think, where she had made something very similar. I gave it a bit of a go, which I really like, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. Changing the colours a wee bit so I can make it my own. I thought the strong colours in this is really, really nice, but I thought we'd give it a go today with a little bit of a more subtle pastel palette. So we'll see how we go with that. So the fun thing about this card is that you actually watercolour the various leaves and things with watercolour paper before you actually die cut them. So it's a really nice way of getting some texture and some some interest into those little flowers. You can just cut them straight from the coloured cardstock, and that's perfectly fine, but it tends to be a bit samey, a bit uniform, whereas if you use the watercolour paper, you get the lovely texture of the paper itself, plus you get the brush strokes going through them, which is also nice as well. So we're going to, as I say, be doing this card but with some different colours. Now, here is the watercolour paper. For the life of me, I couldn't find that in the catalogue. So if anyone knows what page the watercolour paper is in the catalogue, please let me know. I can tell you it's online and it sells for $15.75 Australian. So if you're interested in this, trying this out, you get several sheets in here. Obviously, you get 10 sheets. And they're about 5 by 7, something like that. I don't know exactly what they are. Yeah, 5 by 7. So you get 10 5 by 7 sheets for $15.75. Okay, that's what we're going to be using to watercolour our little leaves and things. So we're using the Timeless Arrangements Sentiment, but the star of the show is really the Timeless Arrangements dies. So we'll get those in. I am using our brand new watercolour brushes. These are relatively new. There's 3 in the pack, which is pretty good value. You get varying finenesses, if that's a word. There's quite a fine one for doing your fine work. There's a middle-sized one for obviously when it's not so fine. And today I'm going to use the big, nice, thick brush one. So this is the new edition. If you've got old water painters, Stampin' Up! Watercolour painters, I think you only got a 2, sort of very similar to the first 2, but you get this nice big thick brushy one for as an extra in this pack, and that's what I'm going to use today because it's really nice for those big brush strokes. So let's have a bit of a go. I'm going to be using a fair bit of this paper, so just Don't sort of be too scared of using it all. And I'm going to use, as I say, a few more subtle colours than we did in the previous card. I'm using my Petal Pink, my Lemon Lolly, my Pool Party, and my Soft Sea Foam. So that's the 3 or 4 colours that I'm going to use today. Don't know what colour card base we're going to be putting it on. I've got all the colours here, so you guys will have to help me work out what colour card base we're going to eventually use, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so let's start with our Soft Sea Foam. So what I'm going to do is grab a block and my Soft Sea Foam ink pad. What I do is just pop some ink from the ink pad onto the block, grab my water painter, and then just squirt. You give it a little bit of a squeeze. The water starts coming out. You give that a bare bit of mixing up there. Probably just looks like water to you guys because it's very pale. And we're going to just give it, I should be using a thingy on my thing. A thingy on my thing. There you go. That's scientific for you. So we're just brushing very lightly the Soft Sea Foam. Now it's quite, excuse me, it's quite wet, and so I'm going to have to dry this before we actually die cut it, because otherwise we're going to get a wet, mushy mess. But if you had time in the craft room, you could probably just let it dry naturally. So that's our Soft Sea Foam portion. Oh, it's on my fingers as well. Let's do our Pool Party. One of my favourite colours, Pool Party. Absolutely adore it. Again, a bit of water. Mush that up. Now, it doesn't matter. I'm going to actually be, it doesn't matter too much if I run these into each other, because I am just creating the cardstock for almost for die cutting. So I just want enough to die cut those little flowers, and that's about it. But you can see here we're getting some really nice patterns, some nice light and dark shades with that Pool Party, which is really, really good what we're after here. Some non-uniformity. Okay, so that's our Pool Party and our Soft Sea Foam. And I'll do my Lemon Lolly. There's a hair in my Lemon Lolly. There's a hair in my Lemon Lolly. Oh, I spent this morning reopening my old Etsy store. I don't know if anyone was around in the days before I joined Stampin' Up. I used to sell handmade cards on Etsy, which I gave up because it was just so time consuming, and I dedicated myself to my business, my Stampin' Up business. But I reopened it because for digital up downloads. So what I'm going to do is use my Etsy store. So every time I pop a new class up, I'll put the PDF for sale in the Etsy store. And if you're watching me from the States or from Europe or anywhere like that, you can buy the PDFs for my classes from my Etsy store. I did hope to use another platform, but I've been informed by someone trying to buy from the States that that platform wasn't available to international people, which wasn't much good to me. So as much as Etsy is a little bit more expensive as a platform, at least everybody can buy from it, which is a good thing. So if you're interested in picking up the PDFs for my classes, my Funfold class and my product classes, please pop over to my Facebook page and pick up the link to my Etsy store eventually. I only just set it up this morning. It's not there yet. This is just a preview. Okay, so this is our Petal Pink. And again, we've got some nice light and dark and stuff happening. So that's quite pretty in itself. That would be a nice little thingy on the thing. yes, thingy on the thing. There we go. So that's our cardstock for cutting. As you can see, it is quite damp. So I'm going to grab my other thingy. I'm going to grab my heat gun, and I'm going to give it a bit of a blast. Just forgive the noise, just to dry it out a wee bit. So no one's saying anything about it being laggy, so I'm hoping that it's not too bad. So we may have sorted the issue, Sammy and I. Well, mostly Sammy. I don't know why else you'd put up with teenage and early 20s boys in particular, other than if you can't use them for IT help. I don't know what else they'd be good for. Okay, I think that's okay. Let's use that anyway. So what we're going to do is going to cut out 2 each of the dies from the die set, plus a sentiment box. So let's have a look at them. So I don't know, I haven't used this one much for videos with everyone. I did a couple of cards for my launch with this set, but then I popped it away and got distracted. So yes, so hopefully this one will inspire you a wee bit. You've got these little interesting looking dies in the die set here, these ones here, and they've got, you can see they've got like branches and things coming off them, but they've also got a strip of a rectangle block at the bottom. So this makes it really good for layering up your foliage, because basically rather than having to deal with fiddly little stems, you just line up the boxes and you can glue those together behind and pop them behind a sentiment box. So it's a very handy, if you love that layered foliage look, which is what we're going for in this card, it's a very handy, very handy die indeed. Okay, I'm just grabbing my cutting and emboss machine. A bit too wide for the mini, so we'll grab the big guy. And as I say, I'm going to cut 2 of each. So let's pop these on. Let's make sure they're all nice and clear. So at the green end, this one sort of looks like leaves, a little bit more leafy. So I'm going to pop that down this end with the greens. Oh. And then we'll just do some others. I'm going to pop them so that they're all on the one colour to start with. And then what I'll do for the second run is sort of make them cross over the colours so that you get different shades. Let's do this one first. Now that seems like a lot of, well, it is. It's a lot of watercolour paper to use for a single card, but you could get them closer and use a smaller piece. I just thought it was easier for you guys if I lived at large, so to speak, today. Okay, so that's our first one. That's really nice. As I say, it's softer than doing it and more texture than just using cardstock. Love cardstock, don't get me wrong, but this is pretty special. Come on. There we go. So that's our pool party. Where did I pop that first one? Over there. And our lemon lolly. and they'll come off easier. That's the theory anyway. And our petal pink. Now, you guys have to start thinking about what card-based colour we're going to use behind this. We don't have to decide just yet, but one of the colours that we're already using would be my option. So put your thinking caps on and what you think. I'm thinking at the moment probably the pool party because it's nice and dark, but we'll see. So I'm going to pop these on. The second time I'm going to run them through so that they cross over the colours. I think it's just started raining. No wonder the light's gone so dark. So let's cross over these colours and get some mash-ups happening. And then I'm going to get them a bit closer too so I can get them all in. Anyone watching locally, has that rain started? I've got to make sure I get them all in, that's the problem. Here we go, this one can go there. I think. Oh. Now, where's the best place? Hang on, it might be best to put it there, I think. Yeah, there we go. That's our other 4. Yes, the boys do have their upside, I suppose. Although I do miss them now that they're all living away from home. Hopefully they're not giving their partners too much heartache. I think they're pretty good boys. Okay, so let's get this 4 out. It's a little bit, the watercolour paper is a wee bit thicker than normal cardstock as well, so they do get a wee bit caught up in there. There we are. This one's going to be a combination of colours, which is good. Oh, very nice. It's got greens and yellows. This one should be a bit the same. Forgive me, I'm all up in the camera at the moment, but I am standing, so it makes it a bit trickier. And that's our last one. That has definitely got dark out there. It's a good thing I've got all my lights on. There's another one of the greeny blue. Okay, one more thing to cut while I've got the cut and emboss machine out is, I'll get rid of all of these, is a sentiment box, which I'm going to use. This is also from the dies. It's got 3 or 4 sentiment boxes, which is really nice. And they're just the right length for those little rectangle bases to sort of hide behind. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to remember to stamp the sentiment first. Last time I made this card, I forgot to stamp the sentiment and then I couldn't come back to it afterwards, which was a bit of a pain. Anyway, here we go. So here are our beautiful pastel leaves and buds and things. So they're really good. Okay, so I might just give that a bit of a clean down. Needs a bit of a good clean by the looks of it. There we go. And then we'll stamp our sentiment. So I want to go a little bit darker with the sentiment. And if we're going to go with a pool party card base, I might try and go a sort of a bluey green sentiment, which would be, I think, Lost Lagoon, Bluey Lagoon, Lost Lagoon probably. Yep, I'll go Lost Lagoon. There we go. So sentiment we need something nice, and your kindness means everything to me. I've used I really appreciate you in the first one. Yeah, we might go your kindness means everything to me. I think that fits in this box. Let's see. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's a wee bit wide. I'm going to cheat, I think, everybody. I'm going to swap stamp sets for my sentiment. Bear with me. I'm walking over to where my stamp sets live. What will we use? Bit of a cheat. Might revert to my favourite circle sayings and just use a warm hello. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Something fairly general like this, and then we can pop whatever the other sentiment is on the inside. So warm hello. There we are. Really nice sentiments in that circle saying stamp set. So if you haven't got it, I suggest you add it to your wish list. There we go. So that one there. So what we're going to do is layer up our little foliages and pop them behind our sentiment box. So let's see what we've got. We've got a couple of, I don't want to sort of layer them up with the same ones. So let's see what we've got so we can separate them out into separate designs. So that one and that one are the same. That one and that one are the same, that one, and then our two foliages. So, okay, we'll have one foliage going upwards and one foliage going downwards. And then pop, now that's too blue, so we'll pop that one with that. And that one with that. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so we'll glue those first, hoping that they are now dry enough so that the glue will stick. This was the issue I had with another watercolour paper I was doing. They sort of need to be quite dry before the glue will work. We'll see. That one. So as you see, it's just a matter of adding a little piece of glue to those, lining up the two boxes, and they are just perfectly lined up. So you can put them just about anywhere, which is really cool. Raining here. Oh, okay, so it's over your side, is it, Susan? It's probably that's what's coming over my way. Tends to come from west to east, doesn't it? Okay, so what else? We're going to pop some other ones together. So let's bring in our sentiment box. We're going to pop those like that. Okay, so what we can do now is actually cut these little, if we've got some blank spaces that we want to cover in. So we've got a bit of a blank space over here. So we can pop that in there in the center. So I'm just working out how to put these things behind the sentiment box. How about we do that? Okay, so we might add these now. So I'm going to just glue them in behind the sentiment box, as I mentioned. Okay, that's pretty good. You can see there, they've got the little strips behind the sentiment box and they poke out really, really nicely. Okay, let's keep putting some. So what I thought, there's a bit of a blank space there that needs something. So let's see, we pop that one in there and then it sort of comes out, fills that gap there. So we might glue that one in the centre. There we are. What else have we got? Do we need more of? There's a nice yellow there. How about we try that one? Yep, I think that adds to it as well. And then we probably need a little bit of something else happening up here. Yep, that works as well. So I'm going to add those two, top and bottom, also. Ooh. So I've basically popped all of them in and behind the sentiment box, just to fill in all the gaps and make it look pretty special, really. And the last one up in here. Got one left over, but I think that'll do. I don't think we need anything else there. So there we are. How's that? That's really nice. It looks like it's a lot more work than it actually is, doesn't it? Because we have actually just glued those little rectangles to the back of our card, which is easy as. Okay, here we are. Okay, so now we have to decide what card base we're going to use. So get your voting fingers ready and we work out which card base. So I'll pop it up against the card base and you guys can tell me which one you like. So this is the soft sea foam. Might be disappear a bit too far, too much behind the soft sea foam. This is our pool party. So this is what my first thought would be. This is the pool party. So pool party's number 2. And this is lemon lolly. I hadn't thought about lemon lolly, but it could be a go. Oh, that's nice too. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3 with our card base. You guys vote for me. Vote now and tell me which one you think. I'll give you a few minutes to work that out. Pool party. So we've got 1 vote for the middle. 1. That's Leanne. I do trust your taste, Leanne. Here we go. So we've got 1 for lemon lolly. Oh, Fran, you're very, very, very reliable too. 2 or 3. Oh, Rose, come on. You have to come down one way or the other. 2 or 3. 2, lemon lolly. 1 for lemon lolly. Evelyn, lemon lolly. Jan, pool party. Oh, okay. I think pool party. Oh, it's pretty. Rebecca Thomas, soft sea foam. Nobody else has voted for soft sea foam. Okay, we've got 2 or 3. We'll pop the soft sea foam away just to cut it down. So lots of votes for 3 here. So I think I'm going to go for lemon lolly. So that was against my first thought. I might make another one with the pool party. So that's going to be our card base. So I'll just cut that because I hadn't actually cut anything because I didn't know what colour I was going to use. Oh, forgive the crashing. So normal size card base, 5.5 by 8.25, and then I just score it down the middle. I'll need to obviously put a white panel inside. And that's that. And then I'm going to pop another layer on top, and I'm going to emboss it just to add another little bit of interest to this. So it's an 1/8 of an inch smaller, so that's 4 by 5 3/8. Down there so it doesn't crash bang. Okay, so this panel I'm going to emboss. I'll use the same embossing folder I used before. I will. In the original card, I used the crosshatch one from their 3D embossing folder basics, or basic embossing folders from the online exclusives. Really, really one of my favourite embossing folders these days. Very good for just adding that little bit of almost inconspicuous pattern to a design if you just want to take the starkness off something. And it comes in a 3-pack, so hey, that's got to be good value. So it comes with some cute dots, or sort of, dots, some stars or flowers, whichever way you want to look at it. The stars. I called them flowers the other day and somebody corrected me, so I didn't want to go too mad arguing. Not that I would. It didn't make much difference to me. It's not a very straight score. That's better, Julianne. Okay, so we've got our crosshatch behind there. There we go. And then we're going to bring in our... Oh yes, that's so good. You guys are good. Though I think it would be just as nice on the pool party. So we'll just pop the extra layer on. I wanted to show you my next video. I think my next video, probably during the week, will be again with the watercolour paper. And I have watercoloured some inked up some watercolour paper to make the flowers from the Paper Florist set. And they're here on my left somewhere. And it takes them from being sort of fairly flat and sort of uninteresting to giving them some shades of dark and light. And yeah, so I'm going to use those on a card with the doilies. So watch for that during the week. We'll do some more watercolouring then. Okay, so flip this over. I'm going to pop them up on dimensionals. Dimensionals. They're here. Yes, they're here. Because we've got a nice flat surface with all our little rectangles, the dimensionals go on pretty easy. And then some bling. Haven't put any ribbon in this one. Because I think there's enough going on there, to be honest. Some little bits of the yellow ribbon sticking out from behind might be nice now I look at it, but I haven't organised that, so I won't come back and change the design. Some bling. I thought we'd just grab my favourite iridescent gems, mostly because they tend to take the colour from the cardstock really nicely. So they will sort of adapt to whatever colour you pop them on. Where's my little tool? Let's pop these on. Okay, that's turned out really nicely. I really like that. And as someone just said, it is a warm Yes, Evelyn, it is a warm and happy card that matches the sentiment, so that's really nice. Okay, I will pop a white panel inside, and I think that one's just about ready. So hopefully you like that one. As I say, it's really makes it a different sort of texture, more interest when you use the watercolour paper. 15.75 online if you wanted to pop that in. At the moment we have bonus days happening, so if you, for every purchase of $90 during the month of July, you will get a voucher for, or a coupon code for, $9 to redeem in August. So if you put in an order for $90, you get $9. 180, you get $18. So every multiple of $90, you add another $9 voucher. So it's a good way of, spending this month and then having some more to spend next month as well. So there we go. So thanks for joining me today. The rain stopped and the sky's blue. I'm not going to say the sun's out, but the sky's blue anyway. So there we are. We had 2 cards today. And as I say, sticking to either the pastel or the sort of brighter colours, you get 2 very different feels. But using that watercolour paper is definitely, it's a great technique and gives it some extra interest. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you have any questions about anything you've seen today, please reach out. Pre-order for the mini catalogue starts next month. So if you're interested in joining my team and having a look nice and early at some new holiday-themed stamps from products from the next mini catalogue, please let me know, because as a demonstrator you get to buy and see things and buy nice and early. So that's really exciting. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and I will see you all again during the week. Okay, bye.